What's up out there in YouTube land? This is Rapmastayoda from Dark Lords coming at you guys with a roster review. This time I'm doing my man Bickwermert. It's a good guy, real life buddy, guy I work with, was actually one of the guys in the group of fellas that got me into playing this game. Now I get to kind of pay it back, come full circle. He's kind of been asking a lot of questions, been wanting to get some info, really wants to get serious about Arena. Good news is he is already killing it in ships. He's got a lot of 7-star ships. As you can see here, he's got both TIE pilots already 7-starred in Gear 11, so he's killing it there. So we're going to kind of divert the attention away from needing to farm ship stuff and get him caught up in Arena. Right now he's hovering somewhere between 150 and 200, so we're going to kind of run it down and see what's going on. So let's check out his profile page. Now he just recently activated his SWGOH.GG, and unfortunately because of the new game update it has not been syncing, so we don't have any information on his Arena standings currently, but we can see his collection, his characters, and his mods, at least what he's had as of the last couple days. So you can see he's got a 60% collection score, doing good there. That's nice. He's got 9 Gear 11s. We need to get that up in the double digits, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got a couple characters that are really close that we can push. He's got 12 guys at Gear 10 though, so that's good. That's going to help us go ahead and get some Gear 11 guys. Talk about how we are going to get him up, hopefully top 10 in Arena, and then make sure that he is raid ready, because we are helping him out and trying to put him in a heroic AAT guild. He's a great guy, does a 600 every day, but his guild is kind of stagnant and he's not really around guys. He's probably about the best player in his guild at this point, and we need to make sure that if we're in that kind of position in the game for newer players or players that haven't been serious up until this point, it's really important to get into a guild. Even if you're coming in last place in the raid every day, if it's a heroic AAT and a heroic ranker guild and they're maxing out, getting 30k every day, doing raids every day or every other day, that's where you want to be, because you're still going to get so much better gear drops than, you know, we were talking and he said, hey, my guild hasn't raided in like 2 weeks. That's not where you want to be. So we'll talk a little bit about how we can improve his raid roster somewhat. Like I said, he's killing it in ships, but let's dive right into the Arena and see what he's got going on. So currently, I believe he's running Wedge, Biggs, Lando, and Han Solo, OG Han, along with a 5th person. I can't remember who he said, but we need to get him into a team composition that's going to be a little bit more impactful, give him some aggressive power so that he can climb quickly, and then also be able to hold well on defense. So we're going to kind of look down his characters, see who he's got, and see if anything jumps out at us. Now, unfortunately, a couple of the more premium characters, Baze and Chirrut, that would pair well with the Rebel strategy he's got going on. He hasn't unlocked those yet, but long term, go ahead and start working on those guys. We need to get them unlocked. They're worth having. Rex down here, 6 stars, Gear 8. That's looking okay. He's not quite Arena ready, so we need to go ahead and work on getting him up to 7-star, and then we need to get him Gear 11 so we can start throwing him into our Arena team. That's going to help you out on defense. If you find yourself waking up and you've fallen, 15, 20 spots every night, switching to a Rex type strategy might help you hold a little bit better on defense. But the big thing that's jumping out to me here is that we have a 7-star R2-D2 that we can work with. So he's got a 7-star Gear 8. That's probably not great for Arena, but where he's somewhere between 150 and 200, like I said, we can throw him in the team, use his synergy with Biggs and Wedge, and that's going to give us hopefully enough power to craft a team around. So now we're looking at being in a Rebel strategy. That means we're going to be using the Wedge lead. So let's go ahead and take a look, just refresh ourselves, see what it's got. Rebel Heroism is his leader ability. So 30% offense, recover 15% max health and 10% turn meter on a crit, and recover 25% max health whenever they defeat an enemy. I think that this is a great leader ability. We haven't seen it as much lately because it lends itself to more of an aggressive strategy, and everything's kind of mid-range and tanky. Everybody wants to kind of be able to absorb that aggressive damage and then use characters like Nihilus to punish their opponents by taking out people in one-shots. So let's back up and see how that's going to pair. Now, why I'm so interested in getting R2-D2 into this lineup is the added abilities that he brings, which is essentially like running an additional leadership ability. Both of them are once you get them Zetaed. So number crunch is going to be the big one for us, and we'll skip over all of the reading and look for what rebels are going to buff. So we get 10% max health from each rebel ally. Now, once we get the Zeta on there, he's going to give all of the light side characters these bonuses. So the rebels are going to get 10% of R2's max health. That's a really important part here. The Zeta is going to be clutch in getting this team to where it's arena viable. We can get you to top 10. So like I said, I know he's doing great in ships. We don't need to worry about ships or farming anything. So starting this week, he got the Zeta challenge unlocked. So he's got those on farm. What I think he needs to do is go ahead and start buying them with his fleet rewards in the fleet shipments. That's one every other day, and then I think every 8th day or something he gets enough, because he's coming in, I believe he broke into top 50 on ships, so he's making plenty of ships tokens. So we're going to convert those into Zetas along with the farm, and we want to get this number crunch Zeta as soon as possible. Now, also noteworthy is combat analysis here. All of the allies are going to get 10% crit chance and 10% accuracy, and that's really going to help out with the strategy that we're running, because with the aggressive power that Wedge and Biggs bring to the table, especially with the buff that Wedge provides to both of those characters, you couple that with the added health, which is going to give them survivability once we Zeta R2's number crunch, and then the upped crit chance and accuracy off of R2's other ability, then we really start rounding out a team. So this 3-person group is going to be kind of the core of our team. So what do we need to fill this out? Okay, so obviously we've got super high DPS with Wedge and Biggs, and then we've got a great support function with R2. He's going to give us stealth, which gives us kind of a faux taunt, and he's going to add a bunch of statistics to the other characters, which is really nice. We can crank up the speed on him, get him going fast with pretty high potency. He becomes a stun machine that will take care of annoying characters on the other team, and then let Wedge and Biggs do their thing, which is just smash people's faces in. So what do we need to do to make this effective? Typically, right now, the big team in the meta with Wedge and Biggs and R2 would be to use Chirrut and Baze. We already covered. So long run, we want to get Chirrut and Baze so we can throw them in. They're also rebels. They fit straight into this strategy. They work really well with this. So if you can get Baze and Chirrut unlocked, get them up to gear 11, they're going to be very viable. And once you get closer to the top 10, those guys will help you stay top 10 overnight. For right now, though, we need to take a look at what we can do to either simulate the kind of functions they have or do something to power up the team. So currently, I know he's using Lando in Arena. I don't think that that's our choice. I think that we want to look at some kind of tank function and then some other kind of either support, disruption, or whatever function. So what I think that we need to take a look at is either using Stormtrooper Han or Royal Guard as a tank, because we need taunt and we need sort of a recurring taunt. So we got 2 ways we can approach this. Both of these characters, Stormtrooper Han is at gear 10, Royal Guard is at gear 10. Stormtrooper Han really needs to be gear 11. He's not going to have the health to be viable and absorb enough damage off that taunt before he dies to protect your team while you get set up. So we need to get Stormtrooper Han to gear 11 and then get a lot of health and protection mods on. Now Royal Guard at gear 10, I think he's viable if you mod him correctly. If we put enough protection on him, that's good. Now the one disadvantage with Royal Guard, though, is he does not synergize with the Rebel leadership ability or with either of the abilities on R2. He does get the crit chance and the accuracy. He does stun, which is nice. So you can have Royal Guard and R2 stunning a whole lot They have up accuracy, which is really good, and we can make Royal Guard a little bit faster than we can make Stormtrooper Han. So with Stormtrooper Han, what we want to do is make our R2 really fast so that he can do the smoke screen, create that faux taunt, leave Stormtrooper Han as the only character that's exposed. Then we run Stormtrooper Han really slow so that if we're fighting against enemy base teams or enemy Death Trooper teams where they have the buff clear abilities, we want to make sure that those guys go first. Then Han goes and he taunts. So kind of two different ways to attack this team. Stormtrooper Han is a rebel. He does synergize. He is going to add to those buffs. But also Royal Guard is great, and he does have the recurring taunt that is triggered, which is nice, so we can make him a little bit faster. Actually, we can make him really fast, get his defense up. Then we can start stunning people with Royal Guard in tandem with R2. That's really good. And then his taunt will trigger if anybody goes into the yellow on health. So I think that those two guys are really good choices. For right now, at the moment, given the gear situation, we've got a couple other characters we need to gear. Royal Guard might be your man because you can just leave him here. I think that you have the mods requisite. We can outfit this team for right now, and then maybe leave Han on the back burner because I do think that his turn meter acceleration in the end may be a good payoff. Plus, once we Zeta that ability and everybody gets that bonus back, that extra health, Han is going to benefit from that as where Royal Guard's not. So I think for right now, we want to throw Royal Guard in the team. Now, we need somebody on 5th base, okay? So we got to go through here and take a look at what we can do. And out of all the characters that we've got, I think that the best choice currently is Darth Nihilus. Now, this hasn't synced in a couple days. I know he's been working on the Darth Nihilus. He wasn't really aware of how good Nihilus is in Arena. Now he is. So he's working on it. He's bumping up the star level very soon. I think he's taking it to 4-star, and he's already got him up in the purple, I think, gear level 8, so that's good. I think for sure he's going to be our 5th character for right now. I think long run there could be some better choices. Short term there could be some better choices, but long term, Darth Nihilus is one of the best characters in Arena, hands down, if not the best. He's probably going to be very meta resistant, which by that I mean if you scrap this rebel type team going forward and go with something else, Darth Nihilus slots into almost every kind of team strategy that's going on right now. That's why he's so powerful. He is a one-man kind of fits anywhere, one-size-fits-all type character, and his abilities are ridiculously good. So let's go ahead and get the Nihilus up. I think we need to have him at least gear 10 for him to be working in Arena. So let's go ahead and get him up to gear 10. Then let's throw him in there. Wedge lead, Biggs, R2, Royal Guard, Darth Nihilus. I think that's your team for right now. Then let's work on Stormtrooper Han, get him up, and then here's where we get to the really hard stuff. This is where we got to talk about mods. This is where Arena is a make or break type thing right now, is mods, because they dramatically alter the statistics of your character so much that there's more ground to be made on the mods than there is the team composition. So taking a look at your mods, you've definitely got some good stuff. I don't know if you had them all equipped when the website synced with your account, so I don't know if I'm looking at everything, but we do have some good stuff. Now, the one problem is right now I'm seeing on crit damage mods, you're a little bit light on this. It's weird, it didn't filter. Oh, we're still in speed set, okay. I apologize for that. So on your crit damage mods, we are a little bit light, and we don't really have any good speed secondaries because it's going to be really important. We want this team to go really fast, and we want them to hit really hard, and then we want to do anything we can to up their survivability, give them a little bit more health or protection so that they don't get beat down on the comeback, and you get to cycle back through and use that triple tap ability on Biggs again and take out a second character, hopefully. So crit damage mods, we need to get more of these, and we need to get better ones. So if you're able to farm those at the highest level on the challenge so that we can get plenty of 5-dot mods, that's where you need to be right now. We want to get crit damage. Wedge and Biggs both definitely we want to have crit damage on. Looked like you had some pretty decent speed mods, so I'd like to see a speed set on R2 and then possibly like a health or potency set. If we want to go with that stun mechanic, I'd like to see a potency set possibly on him and Royal Guard so that we're applying those stuns. I think that's going to give you a great control element paired with Nihilus's Force Drain ability that's going to elevate the cooldowns on the opposing team. So that's going to give you a lot of control, and you're going to be able to manipulate your opponent and then let Wedge and Biggs go to work and do what they're doing. And that's kind of the idea around this team, is that we're making sort of a protection unit and a support unit around Wedge and Biggs to let them do their thing. So on those guys, we need crit damage sets and a crit chance set. So that's a set of 4 and a set of 2 that covers them up. R2 speed set, him running max speed, that's what you want. Generally, you want to shoot for upper 250s or low 260s on speed on him. So let's take a look at your speed mods and see what you've got going on. All right, so on your speed sets, we want to look for ones that have speed primary. So under filter, we'll go ahead and go to secondary stats and apply speed. That way we can see what we're doing. And this is what I was looking at when we first pulled it up. So when you're using speed sets, you want to make sure that all 4 mods have 10 plus speed if possible, because that's where you're really going to make your money. These percentage based sets that apply, like this, gives you 10% speed if they're all level 15. That percentage applies before these flat stats, so you need to make sure that you have plenty of these flat stats to really overdrive them. So it looks like we've got a defense cross, a health triangle, and then kind of a mix match of some other ones that have some 4 and 5 speeds on them. The 13 and the 12 look really good. I'm not totally opposed to this health triangle, especially on R2. We want to make sure that he stays alive so he can keep going and taking a lot of turns. But really, we probably need a little bit better mods before we look at that. So what we're going to do is go back to filters. We're going to take off the speed set and just leave the speed secondary on. And I just want to see what your best speed mods look like. So you can see top row, we've got 3 13s, we've got a 12, an 11, a 10, we've got 9, we've got several 8s. So we are going to take a look at these mods and target them and see if we can build around sets. Defense is okay, there's nothing wrong with that. On the circle, we generally want to be running protection, not health, but in this case, I think that the 13 speed will kind of help us. So what you want to do is go through, take a look at this. You want to make sure you're using, in general, the arrow, we always want to be 30 speed. The square is always 5.88% offense, and the diamond is always 11.75% defense. So those 3 we don't really have to worry about. With your mod collection, I think we're going to have to just look at case by case, each character, what the best mod is, and look at what we're focusing on. So for Wedge and Biggs, we want to focus on critical damage and critical chance. So anything we can do to up that is awesome. R2, we want to concentrate almost solely on speed. We don't need to worry about really anything else. Maybe throw a little bit of potency in there so he gets that stun, and also his AoE attack where he applies that burning. That's a really good one for you because there's not going to be any evasion concerns at that point. So we're looking at a speed set with high speed secondaries and then maybe a potency set. And then on Royal Guard, we want to make sure that he has plenty of health and protection. Maybe throw in a potency set, maybe a potency cross on him, but it may be just better to go with a protection cross. And then on Nihilus, we probably just want to concentrate on speed with him as well. So the priority on speed, you want to make sure R2 goes first, and then if we can bump that Nihilus up and make sure he's going early in the match, resetting the opposing team's cooldowns, I think that's going to be really good for you. Overall, I think this team is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be fun and aggressive. It's going to play on what you already know about the Wedge and Biggs combo and then add some bigger and better elements. And after you play with it a little bit and we get the mod sets right, I think that it's going to be a really good team. It's going to help you jump up definitely into the top 100, get you going, get you some better crystals, then we can reinvest those crystals back. And as far as farming, like I said, I want you to take your ship rewards and farm Zetas. We've got to get that number crunch on R2 Zeted as fast as possible. And then as far as mods, I would go ahead, if you've got critical damage and speed open, I would start with critical damage. Let's get some good critical damage mods on your damage guys, which are Wedge and Biggs. Let's make sure that they're hitting as hard as possible. Then let's focus on the rest of the team, which would be maybe round out a couple more speed mod sets. That way you can have a good speed set on R2 and a good speed set on Darth Nihilus. And then for Royal Guard, we just want to use probably either health sets or defense sets. Just bolster that defensive element, just keep him alive as long as possible. That way he can absorb as much damage, continue to taunt. That way we can keep moving forward with the game plan, keep the heat off of Wedge and Biggs, and take over the fight and just smash people's faces in. So I really hope this helps. Definitely, if you can, I'm going to put a link to my mods video in the comments section. That'll help you out with the mod farming process a little bit, understanding what to invest in. It's a whole different game outside of Arena, so I don't want to jump into it in this video. Check out that video. I really hope this helps you out, man. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up at work, hit me up on the phone, whatever you need to do, brother, and we will get this taken care of. Thanks for letting me make this video for you. This has really been a pleasure on my part, and this has been a lot of fun, so I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Like, subscribe, share.